Oh, sorry. Hi there. Didn't see you there. You know, Australia has a long and proud history of standing up for our neighbours when they need a hand, and in the case of the Fuzzy Wuzzies of Papua New Guinea during World War II, they helped us help them. Huh. Come along with me and I'll show you what I mean. In early 1942, Japan had captured large areas of modern-day Malaysia and Indonesia and was pressing on south towards us in an attempt to grab our supplies and knock us out of the war. We didn't like this, so we decided we would meet the Japanese halfway on the matter, halfway being on the island of Papua New Guinea. Seeing as they had gotten to know us already, the locals of Papua New Guinea, lovingly known as the Fuzzy Wuzzies as a reference to their interesting hairstyles, thought it would be a good idea to side with us. Well, at least most of them down south did. When the Australian soldiers got to New Guinea, they set up the Papuan Infantry Battalion, consisting of 800 Papuan men who fought alongside the Australians. There was also 1,127 members of the Royal Papuan Constabulary, who were also assisting in various menial tasks, but rarely ever seeing actual fighting, unlike the Papuan Infantry Battalion, who regularly saw fighting alongside their Australian counterparts. In total, 18,000 New Guineans participated actively in the war effort, most of them not seeing fighting, the majority just assisting in helping with injured Australians and the injured of their own, shifting supplies in and shifting wounded out. Unfortunately, the Japanese imperial forces had their native helpers of their own. To over 2,000 New Britons, mainly from the Orokiava, the Binidari, and the Kalari tribes, were taking part on the side of the Japanese, mostly in menial task roles and carrying. However, this still did aid the Japanese, but they soon learned the errors of their ways when they saw how the Japanese treated the rest of their people, including going through their home villages and taking all the food, leaving their own people to starve. How pleasant. Although the majority of Papua New Guineans had a great respect for their Australian allies, tribes wouldn't side with the Australians if one of their major rival tribes had already done so. So, what you would see is some tribes moving slightly more to the north to side with the Japanese, or allowing Japanese easy egress and some assistance if they move through their territory, where other tribes just stayed completely neutral. But as time went on, all the small tribes became more unified with each other, as the Japanese forced them south through starvation into the welcoming arms of the Australians, who would do their very best to assist them in their time of need. In 1949, Australia created a joint administration over the territory of Papua New Guinea, thereby making Papua New Guinea Australian territories, loosely controlled. By 1951, Australia had created a legislative council controlled by Australia but run by Papua New Guineans. By 1961, the Papua New Guineans held their first indigenous election, and by 1963, West Guinea goes to Indonesia as part of one of their states. And by 1964, a 64-member assembly was installed, with the majority of representatives in said assembly being indigenous to Papua New Guinea. And by 1975, Papua New Guinea received full independence of Australia. Glorious times. Jump to modern day, and over 5,000 Australians each year walk the Kokoda track, or parts of it, in the Norman Stanley Range. There was also a recent nomination of the Owen Stanley Range to become a World Heritage Site. There have been several foundations created to protect the track, and numerous government areas in Papua New Guinea to do the same. Even though they are partially forgotten, I believe that those fuzzy wuzzy angels who helped our men so bravely fend off the Japanese will be remembered for years to come, especially in such poems as those fuzzy wuzzy angels. Just beautiful pieces to remind us of who was really on our side. Well, I hope I managed to open your eyes to some new things today about the Fuzzy Wuzzies, those brave men who assisted our boys in fighting off the Japs. And even though they don't get as much recognition as our lads do for defeating the Japanese, they'll be remembered. Well, bye then.